This is a typical vegan holiday meal, and in today's video, I'm gonna break down section by section exactly what your plate should look like to both enjoy the holidays while also accomplishing your health and fitness goals. So the holidays are an absolutely wonderful time that should be spent with family and friends, and you should enjoy what you're eating during that time. At the same time, we want to be sure that we don't completely fall off track, and we also, if possible, want to be making some progress towards our health and fitness goals. So that's why it's really important to consider moderation, volume, and protein when it comes to eating around the holidays. So in this video, we're gonna break down a holiday meal and show you what you should be including in your plate to enjoy the holidays while also accomplishing your health and fitness goals. So we have three main goals in this video. We wanna maximize the amount of volume that we have on our plate to feel really satiated, and we also wanna do our best to minimize empty calories, such as oil. All right, so up first, we have our main protein source. We are going to be using the field roast celebration roast with gravy, which was actually the overall winner from our vegan holiday roast review video that we recently posted. However, it was not the overall winner for taste, so if you want to find out which one actually tastes the best, then you definitely want to check out that video. So this is one portion of the roast with 60 grams of gravy, and that comes in at 260 calories and 24 grams of plant protein. Just like we do with all meals, it's a really good practice to build your meals around a main protein source, so starting with protein is a really great way to go. That's because protein is really important for building muscle and shredding body fat, and it's also highly satiating, so it can make you feel full for longer. My main protein source is typically tofu, but it's really nice to switch that up during the holiday season. During the holidays, it's really easy to fill up on foods that don't align with your fitness goals and are really high in carbohydrates or dietary fat and don't really have any protein. So that's why it's really good to always maintain a focus around your protein sources. The next section that we're going to add to our plate is the volume section. So volume is just a measure of how much food you get for a certain number of calories. And there's nothing better than vegetables when it comes to volume. Now, it's perfectly fine to eat less healthy and higher calorie foods. However, you do want to be sure that you are balancing that with higher volume foods like vegetables. But just because a dish has vegetables in it doesn't mean it's the most healthy. Keep in mind that during the holidays, lots of dishes, even those with vegetables, also contain vegan butter and oil and other higher calorie foods that we want to be sure that we are consuming in moderation. During the holidays, lots of people skip the healthy options like vegetables and instead eat potatoes and gravy or dessert or other things that don't align with their health and fitness goals. And that's why it's really important to focus on adding high volume foods after your protein source. So the last section of our plate that we're going to build out is the moderation section. So this is basically all of the foods that we want to enjoy during the holidays that might be higher in calories and might not necessarily be healthy, but they're just things that we want to enjoy with family and friends. A good nutrition approach during the holidays should have some leniency, so be sure to enjoy and indulge a little bit in your favorite foods, but just be careful to not overdo it or you're going to regret that when January 1st rolls around. So first, let's talk about a holiday favorite. We have some mashed potatoes with gravy, and potatoes really aren't an unhealthy food. In fact, they're a great part of a normal nutrition program, but when you start adding butter or oil or some other things that are typically in mashed potatoes, the calories do get a lot higher. Gravy also tends to fall into that higher calorie category, so be sure to use that in moderation too. So mashed potatoes already have a ton of carbs, but since it's the holidays, we're also going to add a dinner roll with some butter. We're using Miyoko's vegan butter, which gives a lot of flavor to this dinner roll, but it's also really high in calories, coming in at 90 calories for just 1 tablespoon. So as you can see, I have an entire dinner roll on this plate, but you could split this with a family member to practice a little bit of moderation. And last but not least, we have another holiday favorite, pumpkin pie, and we're going to add some whipped topping as well to that. So this one serving of pumpkin pie comes in at 190 calories, and the whipped cream comes in at 35 calories for a total of 225 calories. I was actually really surprised at how much pumpkin pie you get for that number of calories, so this can be a really good dessert to add to your meals during the holidays. So this is a full holiday plate. When I'm going through and eating this, I will start with the protein source and also the high volume foods. So we've got the roast, we also had the veggies. Those would be the first things that I would be eating. And then I would move on to some of the higher calorie things that I want to consume in moderation. That way I'm pretty full by the time dessert comes, so I'm not inclined to get seconds or really overdo it. So this entire meal comes in at 1,111 calories with 44 grams of plant protein. So if you want to add more nutrition to make this plate healthier while also dropping the calories, here's what you can do. So to start, we did keep our protein serving the same, but we removed the gravy. But as we talked about, it's really important to actually enjoy your foods. I absolutely love mashed potatoes and gravy, so we kept that the same. As you can see, we removed our dinner roll and butter and we replaced it with a bunch of other veggies to add more volume while also adding more nutrition. By removing the dinner roll and butter, we saved 210 calories, which allowed us to add a ton more veggies without adding all of those calories back. Lastly, we swapped out our pumpkin pie with a slightly smaller piece and we didn't use the whipped topping. This whole meal comes in at 896 calories with 45 grams of plant protein, so we actually saved over 200 calories while getting more food. Plus, we really didn't sacrifice anything in terms of taste. We have a really delicious plate here with all the mashed potatoes and gravy, and we also have dessert. Alright, so now that we've covered a healthier option, let's see what it looks like when you go into a holiday meal without a plan. Alright, it is bulking season, baby! We got a ton of food on this plate, and as you can see, we just totally went overboard with this food selection. So this is what most people's normal holiday meals look like, and you might not actually think that you are consuming this much food, and your plate might not look exactly like this, but if you go up for seconds or you go from one person's house to another, you might end up eating a bunch of food that at the end of the day ends up looking like this selection. So as you can see, we kept our main serving of protein the same, but we took out most of the roasted veggies. We then doubled the amount of mashed potatoes and gravy and also brought in 2 dinner rolls, and we doubled the amount of butter that we originally had on our first dinner roll. So this is 4 tablespoons of vegan butter, and we also doubled the amount of whipped topping that we had on our original slice of pumpkin pie. This whole meal comes in at a whopping 1,713 calories with 54 grams of plant protein. Compared to our first meal, these adjustments add 600 calories, 64 grams of carbs, 35 grams of fat, and it also contains 4% less protein. So even though this seems like a lot of food, we're actually wasting a lot of calories on vegan butter, gravy, and whipped cream instead of investing those calories in healthier options like the roasted veggies. So if you eat all of this during a holiday and get seconds, you're going to be clocking in at almost 4,000 calories for the day. Okay, so to recap, this is a pretty typical balanced vegan holiday plate. Then we went in and we removed some of the empty calories, we changed the portion sizes a little bit, and we added more volume foods like veggies to make sure that we are feeling really full and satiated. This allowed us to get just as much food for fewer calories and also increase the percentage of protein. Then we showed you where most people go wrong over the holidays by eliminating volume foods and adding larger serving sizes of high carb, high fat, empty calorie foods. So you don't need to restrict yourself over the holidays, but it's really important to go into each meal with a plan. So 1, be sure that you build your meals around a main protein source. 2, be sure that you add lots of volume with healthy foods like vegetables. And 3, be sure to practice moderation with less healthy foods. Of course, your nutrition might look a little bit different based on your goals and eating preferences, but use these tips in this video as a reference as you're navigating the holidays to ensure that you enjoy yourself while also accomplishing your goals. So thanks so much for watching this video. We've got tons of other vegan nutrition content that we post on our channel, so be sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.